I grew up in church, but at that time, I was just connected to tradition, not so much the relationship.
We grew up going to church every Sunday because that's what we were supposed to do. But what was strange was, as I got older, I had this tendency to lose consciousness in church. I could say, if I really wanted to, that was God speaking to me, but I think it was low blood sugar. And then one Sunday, it was Easter Sunday, Dad didn't catch me, and I took 9 people out with me when I fell. And when I regained consciousness, I said, I don't think God wants me to go to church anymore. And so when I was 12, we stopped going to church.
I went to college, met my still to this day best friend, and she had something that I didn't know was even possible. And she modeled an active daily relationship with God that was new to me. That was pretty powerful time in my life, a clear benchmark in my faith.
Prior to leaving church at 12, I had actually gotten drunk for the first time when I was 11. I was an atheist. I didn't believe there was a God because I had already gone through my phase where if there was, he didn't like me. I ended up getting sober at 19 and am still sober to this day, but more importantly, 3 weeks into a 12-step program, I was reintroduced to God, but it was more of a God's up there and I'm down here, and he's got his territory and I got my territory, and never the twain shall meet.
I'm living in Fort Worth, and it would be the location where I would actually meet Joe for the first time.
Everything kind of moved in fits and starts. Like I would pursue, and then I'd catch her, and then she struggled with the reality that she was a Christian and I wasn't. I proposed, she had misgivings, but we forged ahead and got married anyway.
Yeah, life for me in the marriage, it was lonely. Any disappointment I felt, I think I added to that by having unrealistic expectations, not feeling equipped to be able to talk about it.
But it was one day when she said she was done, tired of being disappointed. And I said, great. I don't think this is working anymore. I said, I need to get out of the way so you could be with the person God wants you to be with. And I got out of the way. I ended up filing for divorce, and within 5 months of making that statement, we were officially divorced.
Years of marriage can end in the swing of a gavel. It's just unbelievably stark.
Shortly after that, she asked me to watch the dogs, and I was at our old house. I remember I was sitting there on our old couch, looking at our old coffee table, and there's her grandmother's travel Bible on the coffee table. And I said, you gotta be kidding me. And I picked it up and started reading from the beginning. And I kept reading, and about 2 days later, I made my profession of faith, and now I'm a Christian.
I will say this is one of the reasons I know God is real, because his countenance was so different. And my reaction to it was I just jumped into his arms. But I was just excited for him that he had come to this on his own. It had nothing to do with me. It was truly something between he and God, and it was visible.
You know, I had said I needed to get out of the way so you could be with the man God wanted you to be with. I did not expect that God was going to make me that man, but there was that reality. And I reread that part that's so familiar at the beginning of weddings, which says, husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church. And I realized I had never been that for Curry in my life. And so we started dating again, and then we headed in that direction. I started going to church. And eventually I proposed, and eventually we got remarried at that church.
We got married in 2011, and in 2015, Joe starts traveling out to California for work, and it paved another new way for us to come together in a commitment to have a marriage that I think God intended, whatever that looks like. We're still learning. And we decided that it was time to close the gap, be together, and I moved to California.
We went to Redeemer for the first time, and that first Sunday, I felt like I was at home.
I felt the same. I think it's interesting because I was waiting on him to tell me that it's where he wanted to be. I already had the same feeling.
Part of what's grown out of this is also the fellowship, the friendships that have extended beyond Sundays. That's where I get to learn from people on what does it mean to be a better husband? What does it mean to be a better person? And so it's nice to actually be focused on other things that are happening at Redeemer instead of just me.
Yeah, life's messy. Life's messy. It's like, and our relationship is messy, but I'm absolutely counting on the redemption of God in it for us and for me. We're not finished yet.